person?
I don't know, but I'm sure there's someone.
You got the wrong lower third. All right. Recording? Kaili Joy Gray of Daily Kos, thanks so much for appearing on the UpTake.
Thanks for having me.
You interviewed White House Communications Director Dan Pfeiffer this morning.
I did.
Some pretty explosive stuff. But tell us what was said, what your questions were, and how he reacted, how he responded.
Well, you know, I asked for questions from the community. What does the community want to hear from him? So it was really just about asking about the issues that progressives are concerned about, that the Netroots is concerned about. So jobs, of course, is a question people are concerned about. I'm not sure they were very satisfied with that answer, but I'm not sure they were very satisfied with a whole lot of answers. When we're going to be ending the wars, what we're doing in Libya, what's the deal with compromising with Republicans and bipartisanship? Is the president aware there's a war on women, and is he going to do anything about it? Why did he used to support gay marriage back in the 90s, and now he doesn't, and he says he never did?
That was the most pointed one, and Pfeiffer looked very uncomfortable to me. I mean, in terms of having to try to answer Barack's what appears to be something of a flip-flop.
Well, it's a difficult position to defend because it's pretty unusual for somebody to have a progressive civil rights position and then backtrack on it.
Yeah.
So, you know, it was interesting that he didn't really want to acknowledge that Barack Obama did have this position. But he did have this position. He did say, and I read him the quote, that he supported same-sex marriage. And since then, he has said many times that he doesn't. So,
and he was also the progressive anti-war, something of an anti-establishment candidate, right?
Right. You know, in 2002, he said, I'm not opposed to all wars, just dumb wars. And then he explained what constitutes a dumb war. And it's when we've got rising poverty levels and people are out of work and we've got problems at home. And, well, we've got all of that now, but much worse than we did in 2002. So why are we involved in these wars, and are they dumb wars?
Did you surprise Pfeiffer with your questions, or do you think he came expecting some tough questions at Netroots?
Well, I think he was expecting tough questions. I'm not sure that he was expecting me to want to get straight answers from him. Mm-hmm. I understand that it's his job to give the talking point responses and hope that that will be acceptable. And it isn't. Not for us. You know, we're not the mainstream media. We are not the White House press corps. We want real answers. And this is a very informed community. We pay attention. So spin doesn't work very well with us. And especially if I'm asking a straightforward question, like, he used to support gay marriage and now he doesn't.
Right.
What's up with that? You can't really spin that very well. So, you know, asking him to explain and defend that and give a straight answer, maybe he wasn't expecting that, but, you know, I wanted answers to those things.
Was there any dialogue with him off camera or off microphone that you're willing to share? Was it cordial? Was it awkward?
Oh, absolutely. You know, we met. He was a very nice guy. I mean, it's nothing personal. Right. It's nothing personal against the president either. You know, I supported Obama. There's a sticker on my car to this day. I intend to vote for him in 2012, but that doesn't mean I'm not entitled to be critical of the positions that he's taken.
Right.
And Dan Pfeiffer came to represent the White House, and we had a lot of questions, and there's a lot of anger, and people wanted me to convey that to the White House. I don't think that he came expecting it to be a yes we can rally, and it definitely wasn't.
Well, that's over, right? Because I mean that was candidate Obama, a senator, and all of a sudden now he's been president, so he can't really run on that anymore, can he?
No, he's going to have to come up with something else, and I think that it was a little surprising to people that it seems like they don't really have a plan for us. I know that the president said about a week ago that he and Michelle and the kids would be okay if he was a one-term president. Well, that's not a very good way to rally the base.
No.
So, you know, that was something that I asked a couple different times in a couple different ways. What's the plan in the second term? What are you going to give us in the second term? Give us a reason to get excited for you in the second term. I don't think he was expecting that question because he didn't really seem to have an answer for us.
He was expecting wonky questions, not really gut emotional questions. I mean, when you said do we as your base, are we your base, do we matter to you? I heard that hurt me right here. Not because I didn't want you asking it, but because it just hit so close to home.
Right. Well, I think the irony is we're the ones who loved him the most.
Right.
We believed in him. We supported him. We poured our hearts out for him. We knocked on doors. We made phone calls. We donated every dime that we could scrape together. We defended him. And we still, to this day, we defend him against the things that are untrue. The attacks that don't make any sense, the attacks that are unfair. We're the ones who have his back,
right,
much more than anybody else out there. But, we're entitled to get some answers to our questions.
Yeah. That was a great answer, because you went from the past tense to the present to the future just a moment ago. Here at Netroots, what do most of the folks here and the regulars think of President Obama's first term?
Well, it's a mixed group. It's very difficult for us, because I think when we started, it was the Bush years, and we all were very upset, and we could be very unified in our anger. And it's a little different when it's our guy. And we want to support him, and we want to believe in him, and he's definitely better than the alternative. I don't think you'll find anybody in this room who thinks that McCain would have been better. But, he's not delivering on all of the things that he made us believe we were going to see.
Yeah.
So there's frustration, and there's disappointment, and there are a lot of people who are saying, of course I'm going to vote for him. That's not at issue. I'm going to show up on Election Day. But I don't know if I'm going to show up the day before, the week before, the month before. He's not getting a dime from me unless I start to see some of the things he promised.
Interesting. So the vote, at least your vote, is secure, but perhaps not your pocketbook.
Yeah, absolutely. I worked very hard to help get him elected in 2008. But I think that people are feeling like they need a little something more from him.
Yeah. Last year's Netroots conference in Vegas, we had Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid. We had, at the time, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. We had the D.C. establishment. I think Obama, via Rachel Maddow, broadcasted a message to us as well. This year, at least as far as I can tell, the biggest names are Van Jones, were Howard Dean and Russ Feingold last night. Nobody who's currently holding office. Why is that? Has this year's Netroots gone a little less establishment?
Well, you'd have to ask the Netroots Nation organizers about why they make those decisions. But, here's the thing. We don't like spin. And we don't want to get the talking points, and we don't want to get filibustered, and we don't want to hear a stump speech. I think we're generally more engaged and more informed than the average person out there who's just getting their information from cable news. And so hearing somebody give the same talking points that we hear all the time, it's really unsatisfying. We want to hear people who really believe in what they're doing and have exciting new ideas for us and are really reaching out to us and taking us seriously. So I think it's a good sign that the White House sent somebody to talk to us. I think it indicates that regardless of the criticism that they've given and dismissiveness that they've shown toward us, they know we matter. They know that they need us. They know we are the ones who are going to work the hardest for him to get him reelected. But we need to get something back from him.
Does this look like Clinton's mid-90s triangulation? What we've seen since 2010 from the White House?
That's a tough question.
And I'm 33 years old, so I wasn't really of political age too much in the mid-90s.
You're older than me, so I don't know. It's complicated, and something that Dan Pfeiffer talked about, and it's a legitimate point, is it's really difficult to get things done when you've got an obstructionist party that's not just obstructionist, but they're nihilists. They're happy to see the entire country fail. And so they don't care who it hurts. They don't care how many people are unemployed. They don't care if the banks fail. They don't care about the destruction that they cause as long as it means they can vote no. And it's really difficult to get anything done when you're dealing with that kind of insanity. And so, yes, there has to be compromise. And yes, there has to be some give and take and all of that. But I think, it's also a matter of seeing some leadership from the president and taking difficult stands and saying, this is the line that we're just not going to cross because this is too important to who we are as a party. And we want to see more of that from the president as well.
Right. Given that you are capable of asking great, pointed, tough questions, if you had 3 questions for President Barack Obama, what would they be?
Well, My question to Dan Pfeiffer about the gay marriage issue, I feel like I didn't really get an answer, and so maybe it's Barack Obama I need to ask, because he seemed to suggest that this form where Barack Obama said, I support gay marriage, maybe was a fraudulent form, and Barack Obama didn't say that. So I guess the one person who can answer that question is Barack Obama. Did you write that or not? And did you mean it then? Do you mean it now? Because, Dan Pfeiffer mentioned that we've been asked this question before, asked and answered, but it hasn't been answered. So we're still waiting for an answer on that. So that's something I'd like a little clarity on, because it's not just an issue for gays and lesbians. It's an issue for all of us who care about equal rights. The other question that I would like to have answered that I didn't really get from him was what he's going to do to get women to turn out in 2012. Because women turned out in big numbers in 2012 for him. And in 2008. Yeah. And in 2010, he wasn't on the ticket, but women were more interested in the Republican Party in 2010. That's pretty discouraging. I mean, the Democratic Party is the party that's supposed to be the party for women. We've got it in our platform. So there's something going very, very wrong there, and I want to know if the president realizes that and is going to do anything about it. A third question? I don't know. It's been a long day. Do we matter? I think that's a really important question. They send somebody here to give us a speech, but I want to know if we matter and what he's going to do to get us to not just vote for him, but to do the extra work to give him the mandate that he'll need, the political capital he'll need to push through a more progressive agenda in a second term.
I think that's the question. Political questions are great, but that's the gut check question that would really hit home, perhaps, with him, and it did with us. Thanks, Kelly. Thanks for asking those questions. Thanks for appearing on the UpTake today.
Thank you so much.
And carry on. We got one more day of this.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks.
That was you grilling Pfeiffer today.
That was me grilling Pfeiffer today.
That's why I wanted to talk to her. It was great.
Was
I was kind of consumed with what was going on here, but kind of listening in the background. And then it was when you began asking him about support for gay marriage. That's when. I don't know if you're aware, but in